Hello, welcome to What in the World is Going On. This is a kind of a fun show that we're doing now, that things that come into our mind that we kind of shake our heads and say, yeah, that's awesome, or yeah, that's kind of weird, or give somebody credit. It's just a fun show about what in the world is going on. And to start with, the first thing that was on our mind, and we were talking about this in our production meeting, is the two words, girl dad. You hear girl dad around now a lot nowadays, ever since Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, and his daughter, God rest her soul, and everybody was involved in that crash. Terrible, terrible tragedy. But girl dad became very popular because the kind of father that Kobe was, and he always talked about being a girl dad before that happened, and it became more amplified over the years. But you being a girl dad, I think it's such an incredible phrase, a girl dad, because so many guys aren't girl dads. They don't take any responsibility for any of their kids, which is a subject for another show. Deadbeat dads. I can talk days about that.
Let's promote the positive. Let's
of course.
not focus.
Well, we'll talk about some negative things too in this show. We're going to talk about what in the world is going on. Girl dad, tell us about your lovely daughter.
So as a girl dad, I'm heavily involved in my kids' life. My daughter plays volleyball, which I've been fortunate to have never missed a game. And have I showed up late before? Absolutely, but I don't miss it. And when she's serving, I see her look around, just let her know that I'm there. And I think sometimes it gives her that sigh of relief. Just get involved with her and her daily, just knowing that her dad is always there for her no matter what. And it's not necessarily just sports. It's just being the best father I can be to her, and knowing that she sees me there, and just we have our moments. She'll clown me on my small ears, saying that my mask doesn't fit because my ears, it falls off. But those are the little things that we have, and we chuckle about it. So it's wonderful to have a great relationship with my daughter.
Yeah, that's
so
fantastic.
Being a girl dad, I'll take it all day long.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. I know your daughter, and sweet, sweet, sweet young lady with a great future. So it's funny, girl dad it's just such a great phrase to me, and that's why I wanted to start this new weekly show with this. And to me, I have a 10-year-old daughter, as you know, Maya. And my whole thing is that being a girl dad is to always be there for them. Like, I take such pride in taking my daughter to school every day. I don't miss this. Like, sometimes my wife will say, well, let me take her to school. You sleep in. And I'm like, no, I'm taking her every day, 5 days a week. And, we do our countdown Monday through Friday. And Friday I always, take her for an ice cream at the end of the week or something. We go buy a doll or something. We go to Target and get something. But to me, being a girl dad, and I have 4 other children, 2 other girls and 2 other boys, and it was great being their father. But this particular child, just to be there to comfort them when they need to be comforted, to listen to their very confident moments. As you know, sometimes their egos come out and they want to tell you how pretty they are and how smart they are and how lean they are. And, sometimes they just want to punch you and, have a slap fight with you. As you know, my mind loves to slap fight with me. And of course, I always, in the end, let her slap me in the face because that makes her laugh. I let my defense come down, but it's really great being a girl dad, and I love that phrase. And I just kind of wanted to bring it up to start this show because it means a lot to me, and I hope it means a lot to you fathers out there that have girls. And of course, our sons are very important. They're a little tougher than our daughters. Well, not in all cases.
Not in all cases, absolutely.
But it's just great to be there for that comfort. And as my daughter told my wife, Mom, you're my best friend. That didn't hurt me or bother me. I was like, that's how it should be. Mom, you're my best friend. But I'm always there. I'm always there. I'm always there for this young lady. And I take great pride in being there for my daughter and doing the extra when it's hard sometimes. So I just want you all to just take a moment and think about your daughters and your lives and your families. And, remember they give a lot to you. Remember to give back to them and always be there for them. And being, number one, a great example.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As dads, we're their first heroes.
Yeah.
So, being a hero, you're usually always there anytime. There's a down. It's like ups and downs. I'm there, and I love it.
Yeah, and it's funny. I know on the other side of the coin, dads that aren't there. I have history with some things with other people that I know that they're not there for any of their kids. And dads, as I always tell people, children are God's gift. Treat them accordingly. That's one of my favorite phrases. Children are God's gift. Treat them accordingly. So anyways, moving on. This is more of a little bit of a beef. I got neighbors. I want to get your input on this. I believe I am a respectful guy in my neighborhood. I believe in not being out there if I'm having to get together everybody in the house by 10, not being too loud in the middle of the night, not letting my dogs bark. Well, I got neighbors, a couple of neighbors. They will let their dogs bark hours at a time, just sit outside and bark. I got some next door, they got 4 dogs. Behind them, they got 2 dogs. And they just sit there and bark all day. And I say to myself, why do people disrespect their neighbors and just allow their dogs to bark nonstop for long periods of time? Why do people do that? Can you clue me in on that? Why people allow their dogs to just bark? I mean, zero respect.
Yeah, and that's the first thing I was gonna say. It's a lack of respect for your neighbors and not care, because even if it's my dog, I don't like to hear my dog bark. So just imagine your neighbors, and sometimes, man, like it's a lack of not caring for your dogs either. Like, why is your dog barking? Like, just like children in this world, usually we choose to have kids. You chose to have a dog or dogs, so why not treat them better? There's something wrong why your dogs are just barking.
Yeah, well, they're not trained. Number one, I always think about it. I say, we have a little dog at my house, and nobody's ever heard the dog bark. Occasionally, if somebody's trying to come over the fence, yeah, my dog's going to bark as protection. Day to day, we'll go outside, sit in the sun, do its thing, wander around the yard, check the perimeter. Never bark, no matter how hard other dogs are barking. It's funny, in my pool, I have a pool sweep that cleans the bottom. Well, once in a while, it acts up and it jumps out of the pool. I don't know why, but it makes a terrible suction noise, very loud. It'll start sucking in air. It comes out of the pool. And then it'll retract and go back down. And then it'll come back up, and I turn it off because I know my neighbors don't want to hear that racket for 8 hours. My pool sweep on a particular day, because it's in a bad mood, is going to suck air in and make a terrible
But because you're courteous.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, this dog barking has become so increasingly bad that I'm considering moving, because I don't want to live next to
You
people.
ever thought about talking to the neighbors about that?
Oh, I have talked to them about it.
And what do they say?
Well, my problem is I'm an aggressive type of fella, and I don't want to use the words that I've used to both of my neighbors about their dogs. And after we had a conversation, the dogs were quiet for about a week, but they just went back to it, and it was basically, I don't want to use the word, but it starts with an F-U type of thing to me. They didn't say that because they would have a problem from there, but I don't want to be a tough guy. But
So you're saying that they saw there was an issue, they fixed the issue, and then now they don't care about it.
Yeah.
So it comes down to not caring.
Yeah, and they don't care about me.
And they don't care about their dogs, because the dogs must be barking for a certain.
So I know you love dogs. You've been to my house, and
yes,
my dog's had the most fun it's ever had is with you. And my son's dog, Gio, had a great time with you. But you're an animal lover, so you understand, and that's why I asked you. But please respect your neighbors. I mean, that's just a big issue.
And
with
respect
me.
the animals too.
Respect the animals,
because they didn't choose to be
don't
part of your
let them
family.
sit there and bark all day and disturb everybody, and make people mad at the dog. It's not the dog's fault; it's your fault. So please be number one, more respectful of your neighbors, and that goes from everything. Making a racket at 2 o'clock in the morning, starting up your motorcycle just to see that it's running okay at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, again, basic respect, and there's not as much respect in the world as there used to be. I don't know, when I was a young man growing up, I never heard everybody else's dogs barking, and if they did, they took them in. Like I was telling somebody, it's great if I hear the kids next door, 3, 4 kids laughing and playing and in the pool and loud. Kids can be as loud as they want, and they will never bother me. I'm not that neighbor. Kids can be loud. The neighbor can mow his lawn at 7 in the morning. Okay, that's when he could do it today. That's fine.
He's doing it before the sun comes up. We're in Vegas.
Exactly. That's fine.
I understand.
So we're understandable people, and that's the other thing. But just don't let your dogs bark and bark and bark and bark and bark and bark all day long. It's not very flattering to you as a human being. And your kids will pick it up and they'll have the same bad habit. Anyways, enough of barking dogs. But I'm not wrong.
Not at all. It's like you talk to that neighbor, they're gonna tell you you came barking up the wrong tree. It's like, no, it's just be courteous and a lot of times just in life we're not courteous to others and not really affected.
Yeah.
Know how bad you're affecting.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood it affects the whole
Yeah.
neighborhood. If it's affecting you, the other neighbors hear it, and it's making the other dogs bark around it. Not all dogs are well trained like yours. And find out what's wrong with those dogs. Why are they barking so much?
People should get in that trend. And it's funny, one of my neighbors across the street, they have a dog. And I was over there borrowing their ladder or something, and we were talking about the other neighbor's dogs are barking. And she said to me, "Oh, my dog doesn't bark, and if my dog barks, I'm bringing him." And I hear the dog barking constantly, so I'm saying to myself, are they not even paying attention? Are they taking a nap? This is a neighbor who told me, my dog never barks, and I hear their dog just rattling every day.
They tune it out.
Yeah, and
so
that's,
what else
to
in
their
life are you
people's
tuning
credit,
out?
I guess they tune it out.
I can't.
Maybe they don't do it. I can't. I am just so, like I said, with my pool sweep, it's probably right now nobody's at home. That thing's making noise, and I'm saying, oh my God, my neighbor's saying, well, he's not respectful. I literally will turn it off all day. If it comes on at 8 in the morning and by 8:30 it's making a racket, I turn it off. The pool doesn't get swept that day. Anyways, respect your neighbors. That's number one. I'm high about that. Right down to, at the market or wherever you go, respect your neighbors, respect your neighborhood, and don't let your dogs bark. Lastly, on today's show, this is fun stuff. We usually do sports, Jack and I, and we thought we'd do something different and just kind of talk
Just
about
in life in general.
Just talk about life. You come from the service industry, specifically the restaurant business. I'm very passionate about making sure that the service industry, servers, bus people, the front door person, the receptionist, in giving tips and making sure that they're given out correctly. And what I mean by that, if a check is $50, give them 20%, give them 15%, give them 18%. Don't be giving people just $2 because that's what you put on a table. Be mindful that all these service people that are in the restaurant business work for minimum wage. They don't work for big money. The managers and all that, they're different deals. But the servers, the front door personnel, the bus people, the clean up the restaurant, they work for minimum wage. Am I correct?
Yes, but it's not even that too. It's not just the restaurant industry. It's like perfect example. We had a jump house at the house. They came there, they set it up. We used it. They broke it down, and they left. So generally, the people that you're dealing with to set it up and break it down are not the people that own it.
Yeah.
I tip those guys. I stay at a hotel.
It's a good
I
point.
leave a little tip.
Yeah.
They delivered my furniture. I gave the delivery guy a tip.
Respect,
So it's just like,
They're
hey,
minimum wage people.
and it's not that. It's just it's a courtesy. Those guys, they did the things that I wouldn't necessarily do, or I'm paying somebody else to do something else that I didn't want to do, and it's just a courtesy thing. I don't necessarily like. I don't like. Don't tip. Don't ever feel that you're obligated to tip.
No.
What you're doing is you're tipping because you know somebody else relies on this too, and you tip based on the service you receive. And the service is different from if the food is messed up. If the food is messed up, some of the times it is the kitchen, sometimes it's not, but you can tell the difference. Like don't hose the server because
I'm big
the
about
kitchen
that.
messed up the food.
I-
Little stuff like that. So
Yeah.
now you're gonna tip the $5, like, or you're gonna be like, oh, you come in, you have steak, you have lobster, and your bill is $500, and you're gonna tip $5, not knowing that server is probably tipping out multiple people
Yeah,
based on
they
that.
have to
Little
tip
stuff
out
like
more.
that. I'm not telling you you're obligated to tip, but just think about it. I think a lot of people in this world should work in the service industry, at least one job before they get into their profession, so they understand the stuff that goes on in it to make things happen, to make you come out with your family of 15 and have a great night, celebrating birthdays, promotions, whatever the case is. There's a lot that goes into making sure that your event
Tons.
goes off without a hitch. There's a lot of stuff that, hey, you go in you go in a room in a hotel, and right now, in fact, during this season, during this COVID, they're not even doing turn down services anymore in these hotels. So when you actually get turn down service, like, throw an extra dollar, because they're probably, the staff is limited and all that. Just be courteous, and it's like, it's not an obligation, but also be considerate.
Yeah, and I'm passionate about that myself, and with the service industry, and it's so many things other than a restaurant, to give a little tip to people, make their day, it doesn't have to be a lot, but make their day joyful. But when you go in a restaurant and you get a great meal, I'm a believer. I always leave 20% on the gross total. I don't go, oh, well, the tax was this and my drinks. No, I look at the bottom line, the bill. If it's $80, I'm leaving $16, 20%. That's what I do. I generally will leave $20. But I'm just a believer that we have to always respect that industry and the service industry as a whole. But I had a question for you. When you had the jump house and you paid them some money and they did a great job, did they break your water pipes on the way out?
No, they didn't.
They did not?
No.
Hey, did you have a friend that happened to that gave a nice tip to the jump house personnel, all the kids that were working there, and gave a nice tip, and they broke his pipes?
I remember that night, and I remember also in about for the 30 seconds after it happened, looking for the water shut off. Eventually found it because it was dark at night too.
Yeah, and I'm the guy we're talking about. I had, for my daughter's 10th birthday, we had a nice bounce house. They were great kids. They set it up. We gave them a few bucks, and I think I told the owner, he came by and I said, and it was like 4 kids or 5 kids. I said, here's $80, pay for a meal. And then on the way out, they broke the pipes and water's everywhere. And, I still got people at the house for the little get together. And Jack was there, of course, because they're great family friends. And he's asking me, well, where's the water turned off? I said, I don't know. I only been here 2 years. You've been here 2 years and you don't know where to turn the water off? That's me. I call everybody for everything, so I need to pay my handy service people. But that's just a quick, funny story. But he fixed it. He know what to do. Anyways, anything else that's on your mind that you want to talk to our friends about, and our viewers that we enjoy so much and that always watch our shows and our various shows? You got anything else?
I think that's enough for today. But I would like to see your input and stuff you'd want us to talk about in our future shows. Something that you like my brother-in-law likes to say is like, what grinds my gear? So what grinds your gear? Let us know, and we'll see if it grinds ours too, or we'll give you your opinion on it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Really, yeah, this show is more for like an open forum. If you got things you want us to talk about, get a hold of us at WWDBTV. Anytime, get us at our email addresses here, and we'll be happy to have a specific subject on the show. This is more for fun. Our sports shows, a lot of it has to do with people gambling and this type of stuff, but this is just for fun and things that grind our gears or make us happy, or things we're positive about, or somebody we want to give props to, like Kobe Bryant, a wonderful guy, the best girl dad ever. God rest his soul. We miss him. And please continue to watch. We hope you like this show. Tell us you like it. Tell us if you want more.
Give us your opinion.
Yeah, we really want that. So thank you for watching. Share with your friends. Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on Roku. And continue to be our friends. We want to be your friends. So let's have fun with this show and take it seriously or not seriously. It's all over the place. Whatever you want, we want to talk about it. Give us your opinions. Thanks for watching. Stay happy, be happy, and be a good neighbor, please. God bless. We'll talk to you soon.